Human beings are just such weird creatures. It's so interesting to me how most people don't realize that they're literally in a script. But when it comes to many things people do, most people don't even know why they do it. And this goes for even trivial things. For example, small talk. You got two people that don't really want to talk to each other, but they do it anyways because that's what's expected. So we just kind of collectively agreed as a society that we should small talk. We should do small talk. And one other example I have, this one's a bit random, but in a day I was waiting in line to go somewhere to a program to go, and I just stopped for a moment. Why? Like, who made this invisible rule that you have to wait in a line? Like, let's say you're going to a program or something. Like, why do you have to wait in a line? Why can't you just cut in front of the person at the front of the line and just get to your area? No, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying that's kind of funny how we made this invisible rule that you have to wait in lines. And it's pretty funny if you think about it. But on a more serious note, I want to talk about tragedies. When it comes to tragedies, most people, what they do is, for example, with the mustache guy from Germany. I don't even want to talk about him too much because I'm sure you guys all know. But anyway, when it comes to that guy from Germany, whenever people do something bad, most people have such a simplistic way of looking at it. They say things like, oh, this guy is evil, that guy should be locked up, this guy should be, throw away the key. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really disagree with you in some cases, but to me, when people do these horrific things, it's literally just a product of what us human beings have created. The only purpose of a gun is to take life away. You might argue, oh, it's to defend yourself, but if guns never even existed, if someone were to attack you, then maybe you could defend yourself in some other way. A gun is specifically made to take life away. Guns are just an example of how, well, one of many examples of how we basically manufactured our own suffering. And speaking about guns, that brings me to this topic: war. War is probably the most absurd thing of all time. Think about it, guys. Leaders of different nations have disagreements. And yeah, perhaps the actual soldiers agree with those leaders, perhaps they see this other country as enemies. But to actually get into a war and, take other people's life just for disagreements, and the funniest part is, the main people disagreeing would be the people at the top. So let's just take, Palestine and Israel. The people that really have problems with each other are the ones at the top. But the ones that are actually doing the fighting are people that most of them have nothing to do with it. Most of them didn't even want to do it. They just got dragged into it, and most of them are just innocent civilians. Like, for the ones that didn't even want to do this, I understand. But for the ones that willingly want to do it, how could you willingly want to throw your life away? All just for what? Nationalism? Because you're proud of your country? I just can't see why you would willingly want to be a chess piece. And the ones playing chess are people that will never actually, go into real battle. They're the puppeteers, you're the puppet. My thing is, if two leaders of a country want to go at war, how about we take all the ones at the top, including them, and how about we put them in a boxing ring? How about they go at it, with each other, instead of causing millions of people to suffer that have nothing to do with it, that just want to live a normal life. And this is where the absurdity is, though. The fact that we humans made a system where one individual or a few individuals can just have this much power, it's absolutely disgusting. We humans were stupid enough to allow this to even be possible. In my ideal world, no one person can have that much power. But it's because in this world we made stuff up like money and, hierarchy. It's just nonsense like that. We made all that stuff up. That led to all these tragedies. And most people just say, oh, lock him up, throw the key, what a terrible, evil person. And I can agree with you, but to me, the main thing here is that it's not only a terrible, evil person, but it's a terrible, evil system. Now, speaking about leaders, I do want to talk about this a bit more. But I've always found it very odd how humans always want some sort of leader figure, someone who's at the front, leading the charge. This can even tie with religion. Some religions, one person is at the core of their religion. Like if we take Islam, it's going to be Prophet Muhammad. And this applies to modern day as well with presidents and prime ministers. These guys are just figureheads. And I'm like, why do human beings need figureheads? And when I really thought about it, it's mainly because I think it's because of the way humans are wired. I think humans have some sort of tribalistic wiring. If you were to take history, there would typically be a leader of a village or a leader of some tribe. And there always needed to be some sort of leader in order for there to be order. And people didn't think that there could be order and peace if there was no leader. Having a leader and putting someone in charge basically meant that things would be more organized. There wouldn't be as many conflicts. But if you take away the labels and the title, these people are just normal, ordinary people. Any sort of specialness they have, it's all manufactured by the system. It's not because they're just better. It just comes down to this sort of tribalistic wiring that we all have. But these figureheads, people worship them, people will die for them. It's because they don't understand that it's just labels that the system gave to that person. They're not some sort of saint. They're not better than us. Their words don't hold more value. But yeah, look at what these people can do. Look what they're capable of doing. These people can start wars and cause all sorts of suffering. All because of this made-up label that we gave them. It's insane how we create things and then we get trapped inside of the same things that we created. We made up all these systems. We made up all this complexity. And now we're paying the price. I never really a political guy, to be honest. I'm just not very interested because, number one, I'm not the one with power. I can't do anything anyways. But also it's because all of this politics stuff, the way I see it, I'm just not in the same world as any of this stuff anymore. The concept of being forced into this existence and then being stuck inside of this trap, this miserable depression trap, it's already bad enough as it is. I just don't have it in me to talk about politics and stuff. It's just background noise to me. It feels like I'm getting dragged into something that I never really had anything to do with. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with talking about it. Now, you guys can talk about it if you want, but you guys do your thing, I'm gonna do mine. It's just background noise that this system tries to force you to care about. The only thing I really care about is just having inner peace. Just having peace, living comfortably until the world becomes an apocalyptic. It's bad enough to have to work and consume, but I'm not going to spend my time dragging myself to the system's background noise. And besides, what have we changed? All of these political debates and all of these discussions, whether you're on the left or right, which, to be honest, I don't even know what that means. What actually has changed? Nothing. Humans are always going to disagree. Suffering will always be here. Humans will always have conflict with each other. So the way I see it, why get involved if the ending result is the same? I don't care to play that game. I'm not gonna fight battles I never asked for. If you guys want to do that, then go ahead. But me, no. I'd rather enjoy the time I have doing things I want to do. And the way people try to guilt you into caring about these things, like for example, they try to guilt you for being a lolicon, and they try to say that you're a part of the problem. You guys can think what you want with your buzzwords, but I don't care. I didn't even ask to play this game. I'm never going to vote. I'm not going to be the hero. I didn't even ask to be one. I didn't ask to be a saint. I just can't imagine trying to guilt someone into fighting a battle that he never even asked for. It doesn't even make any sense. Let me do what I want to do until I can get away from this double standard torture. And people will be like, oh, what about the future generations? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. I don't. I never asked for the world to be this way. Why should I care? I'm gonna live this out. I'm gonna be gone. The rest of you can worry about this, but this is not the world for me. Maybe when I pray hard enough, I'm going to be born into a world I deserve to live in. A world that's actually, nice to live in. As for this world, I cannot care less. It's always going to be torturous and just as the way it's designed. So why even put energy into it? My favorite moments about this life is just when I daydream and use my imagination. It feels like my consciousness is leaving this world and going to another world. And whenever that happens, I just feel so much joy. I feel so much euphoria. But then when my mind settles down and I'm back into this world, I'm just like, damn it. This is not the world for me. Maybe there is a word for me out there, but it's not this one. This world has always been disgusting and it always will be. So why should I care about future generations? Now, if I had a kid, maybe have an argument, but even if I have one, I'm still gonna act the same. The way humans think that the moral is just the center of the universe is absurd. We're one little species. And all of this morality, all of this intelligence, it won't mean anything. And we talk about how we have so much value and what's value gonna mean once this entire human race is gone? It'll mean nothing. The way we make up stuff just to act like we're important. You know, making up money, making up hierarchies, making up the entire concept of double standards. None of it is gonna mean anything in the end. And this is where my embarrassment comes with, being human. Let's just take like a squad of lions, for example. And one of them is the leader. He wasn't elected to be a leader. He just is because, that's just nature. A lion doesn't live by fake rules. They live completely and utterly naturally. They're not trapped by made-up systems. Unless it's a zoo. So the only made-up system they're trapped in is something we made. Surprise, surprise. But basically, they don't know they're gonna die. They don't know about the concept of value because it doesn't exist to them. So my envy basically comes from the fact that we just live such fake lives. The only ways a lion can suffer is by natural means. That's it. Whether they have a broken bone or they're starving. But for us, we could have a full stomach. We could live in a 4-story house. We could have all the food in the world in our kitchen. And yet we're still going to be suffering. Not just physically either, which is the only natural way we suffer. But you're also going to be suffering because of systems we made up. The part that hurts the most is that even for the people that know it's all made up, I'm still going to be suffering in ways that the system designed. If I don't have enough money, I'm cooked. How am I going to buy food? How am I going to, do anything, pretty much? And it could even mean things that don't directly affect your survival as well, like your self-esteem. Because we live in a world that's so shallow and judgmental, and because human beings collectively agree to place importance on appearance, most people suffer through self-esteem issues and mental health. They think they're not good enough. That also used to be me, to be honest. So I'm speaking from experience. As human beings, we were just supposed to, hunt for food, eat food, be with nature, drink water, and survive. But the system made up so many things that cause us to suffer in ways that are just not natural. A lion isn't going around talking about, I hate my life, I'm a sub-5. We're the only ones that do this. And that's why I don't really talk about certain stands. Because I see the bigger picture.